To start your Sculpey cartoon pet, first you're going to need to look at your photo. Move your picture aside. Now gather your different color clays, a paintbrush for detail, and a ruler for cutting. Take your main color, mine is black. Start by making the head first by rolling in your hands a nice round ball. Now we're going to make some ears. Pull off some more clay and divide it into 2 equal pieces. If one looks a little smaller, add some more to it to make them equal. Now take these 2 pieces and refine them. Pay attention to the geometric shape of the ear on the animal. Now let's look at your picture again. Make sure that the shapes that you've made so far resemble the picture. Now let's start working on the detail on the head of your animal. Notice in the picture that my dog has a white snout, so I'm going to take some white clay and start making the detail for his face. Then we're going to add it to the head and make sure that it's the right size. We're going to press it in to make sure it stays firmly on the ball of the head. My pet has a black nose, so I'm going to pull off some black clay, roll it into a nice tiny little ball, and I'm going to apply it to my white part of my snout. Having my picture in front of me helps me refer to what the animal looks like all the time. Right now I'm going to add a nice white strip that goes up between his ears from his nose to the top of his head. Okay, now we're going to add our ears, making sure we're pressing down hard so they don't fall off. Then we're going to make the body. Make sure you're making it large enough in proportion to the head. Now notice that his neck is white, so we're going to add a white portion on for his neck and pressing it into the body so it stays in there nice and good. Now for the legs. Notice that my pet is sitting down in the picture, so I'm going to make him sitting down. Make sure that you're trying to include the feet when you make the legs, so it's all one piece. You don't want the feet falling off. Now, add the leg and feet to each side of the animal. Press it in really good so they don't fall off. You can blend the sides too to make them stay better. Okay, now I notice that my dog has a white patch on his front of his chest, down to his belly. So I'm going to make a nice flat piece instead of adding a big ball. And I'm going to place it right on the front of his chest and press it down onto his body. Blend it into the edges so it's nice and smooth. Looking at my picture, I noticed that my dog has a white leg and a black leg. So first I'm going to make my white leg, roll it in a nice long piece, and make sure that it's the right size for him, and shape it into what I think looks close to what the leg shape is. Then I'm going to make the black leg the same size, and then I'm going to add it to my dog. Make sure you press them into the body so that it doesn't fall off. I also noticed that my dog has 2 white paws in the front. So I made 2 small white balls, and I'm going to add those to the ends of my legs. You're actually adding detail. I mentioned that this is a cartoon version of my pet. So I'm going to make his eyes a little bit more cartoony and less realistic. I'm going to start by making 2 small black balls, same size, and these are going to be for the outer parts of his eyes. I'm going to press them into the head, making sure they're flat. Next, I'm going to take a small piece, divide it equally into 2 smaller pieces. These are the white pieces of his eyes. Now I'm going to flatten them a little bit, making sure they're nice and round. And these are going to go right on the inside of his black portion of his eye. See how that makes his eyes really, really cartoony looking and less realistic. For the final detail of his eyes, we're going to take a very tiny piece of black, divide it into 2 equal pieces, and this will be the pupils of his eyes. Press those right into the white areas. Make sure you get those pressed in really good. Another detail that my dog has that I need to add is his tail. He has a real small one, but when he's happy, he still wags it. So I'll take a small piece of black, roll it to the shape and size I need, and add it to the back of him. One last thing I need to do, I have to add a mouth. So I'm going to take my end of my paintbrush and just carve a nice smooth mouth into the lower part of his face. There. Now he can bark. There's my pet. His name's Scooter. Now let's look at our original picture of Scooter. And let's see how I did on my cartoon version. This is my cartoon version. Now you try it.